Good morning and thanks for joining me on the Dray Way. I am so glad you're here. We got so much to talk about. Let's go. Yeah. It's time to talk about this administration coming up. It's time to talk about the cabinet and how this cabinet is supposed to serve this country when Donald Trump has chosen some people that are questionable. Can we say that? Questionable? Because I don't know, have you looked at the list of people in the cabinet so far? I think I need to bring this up. It looks really white. It looks nothing like America does. That's the first thing that we have to talk about. This cabinet looks nothing like our country. I don't even recognize it. You know, it looks like no representation of the United States whatsoever. It looks like a bunch of white men. And we constantly bring this up, and you say, don't bring up race or anything. What are you talking about? How do you not bring up race when some of the people that you are choosing are ridiculous? I mean, Matt Gaetz as Attorney General, that's laughable. That's not going to happen. It's just laughable. He's barely an attorney. He's been an attorney for how? I mean, really? It's just, and then down the line, I'm like, what about this guy, Pete Hegseth? Here he's got a charge. A woman charged him with assault just 7 years ago. And I guess he had to pay her off allegedly. And what are we doing here? We're going to make him Secretary of the Defense? What are we? And isn't Donald Trump supposed to have a great white right hand? Isn't he supposed to have a great chief of staff? What kind of chief of staff are you? You've already failed. How can you be a so-called chief of staff and let Donald Trump pick people that are just ridiculous? Tulsi Gabbard as the head of intelligence. She can't pass an FBI background check. Yeah, just a basic background check. She would not pass. So what are we doing? I saw a picture today of the cabinet. Just a bunch of white men and a couple of white women. That's it. That's not America, folks. That's not America. And right now, you're already seeing infighting. You're seeing infighting because there are some reasonable Republicans in the Senate. You know, people that are real, that really want to see America do better and do better things. They're already sitting back going, wait a minute. How do you expect me to take anything that Donald Trump says seriously when he's putting up complete clowns for extremely important roles in the government? I mean, our Secretary of Defense? Really? I mean, our Attorney General, the Attorney General of the United States, Matt Gaetz? Come on. If I'm a U.S. Senator and I'm sitting, or I've been a senator for 20 years or 10 years or whatever, and Donald Trump comes into office one last time and starts winging around ridiculous people, what do you think I'm going to think of as a senator? Because he's going to be gone in 4 years. Trump is gone in 4 years. Those senators have to stay there and run the country well into the future. Donald Trump is history in 4 years. And over the next 4 years, how many rounds of golf is Donald Trump going to play? 150, 200, 250? How many rounds of golf is he going to play? Meanwhile, senators are sitting there having to do their job on a daily basis at Washington day after day after day. Donald Trump is going to be flying off to some golf course. So let me tell you something right now. It's Republican versus Republican in the Senate. There's going to be some of the Trumpers and some of the Republicans that really, truly care about this country and upholding the laws and the Constitution. I know, silly thing, right? What a crazy thing to do. But that is what I want you to understand. That's what's going on at the very beginning. It's Republicans versus Republicans. Don't even talk about the Democrats right now. It's not about the Democrats right now. What it's about is Republicans being able to get things done by them agreeing. Because the Republican Party isn't one unified mass. I mean, you've got some Republicans that are pretty normal thinking, pretty, hey, we need to do this. And then you've got right-wing, crazy Republicans that are like, let's burn it to the ground. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do nothing. Let's get rid of this department. Let's get rid of that department. This government of ours, this institution has been around for hundreds of years, okay? We have things in place that make this country the number one country in the world because we have things in place that have been institutions that have been there forever. And they serve a purpose. And now you've got some right-wing nuts coming in the office that want to burn it all to the ground. We don't need any of this. We don't need any of that. But this is what is going to be starting in just 60-some days. 60-some days away from a new administration coming in, but it's going to be Republican infighting, not just in the Senate, because you got 6 or 8 senators there that are not right-wing by any, they're more towards the middle-ish. They're not out there like some of these people. They're more common sense. This doesn't make sense. Anyone that says Tulsi Gabbard or Matt Gaetz makes sense is a liar. Yeah, they're not telling the truth. And you're not going to convince normal people that these are good picks in any way, shape, fashion, or form, because they're not. And they just show that Donald Trump isn't really serious. And it's going to cause, because of this, you're causing infighting right at the beginning. When Republicans should be unifying, they're not going to be unifying at all, because what Republicans are going to be doing for the first year or two is this. And with that infighting, what do you think is going to happen 2 years from now when the Senate goes up for vote again? Do you think it's possible that the Democrats come in and grab some seats and take over the House? I think it's extremely possible, and I think it's actually probable. But let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. I am so glad you are here. We have more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I want to talk to Democrats. If you're a Democrat out there, I want to talk to you because I want you to understand, you've had some time. You've had almost 2 weeks now to absorb the election. And okay, we lost an election. Let's get over that now. Let's understand that we have absolutely nothing. And I want you to know, I have no interest in a kumbaya moment. I have no interest. I'm not that guy. The Republican Party wants to take rights away from women. They want to continue this abortion nonsense. And they want to continue to go after women and women's bodies. Yeah, I'm not down for that. I'm not down for that at all. As a matter of fact, in my store next week, I'm going to have blue bracelets available that says "We Trust Women," and I'm going to be wearing a blue bracelet, and those bracelets will be available in my store at bluestatestyle.com. Bluestatestyle.com. I got stuff over there now, but those bracelets will be available, and I will be wearing one. And I don't care if people like the bracelet, don't like the bracelet. I want women to know when they're around in the area, when they see somebody with the blue bracelet, they can feel safe. They can feel that they are openly saying, I'm for women. And that's important because we make no mistake about it. We are in a battle. It's battle after battle after battle, and we have to win the war. Winning the war is getting women's rights back. Women shouldn't have any different rights than what we have. And it absolutely just blows my mind that we're going to have to continue this fight, but we're going to have to continue it because one side wants to take away all of women's rights. And I don't just mean their reproductive rights. I mean, they're even talking about now taking away your right to vote, taking away your right to travel. Yeah, heaven forbid you get pregnant in a red state. They want to monitor where you travel. Yeah, it's actually getting kind of scary. So I know I've talked to enough women. I bet you I've talked to 20 women. And they have said to me, yeah, when we see the red MAGA hats or the red shirts and stuff like that, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel nervous. And I said, what about the blue bracelet? How would that make you feel? And they said that would let me know that I have somebody that's looking out in our corner. So whether you like it or not, I'm going to be wearing a blue bracelet all the way until women get their individual rights back. Until a woman can decide what she does with her body on her own, I will be wearing one of those bracelets, and they'll be available in the store, and I'll let you guys know all about it. But guys, understand this. It's a battle. It's a fight, and it's going to be that way for what, one administration, two administrations? I don't know how long this battle is going to go on. But I want women to know, and I hope you decide to wear a blue bracelet, and let women know that when they're around you, that they're safe, that there's men out there looking out for them. Let me know what you say in the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I wanted to talk about that. We got more to talk about, though. Stick around. A lot of people have been asking me what to expect from when Donald Trump takes over the White House. What we have is we have a history of what Republicans do in office. Republicans historically have been kind of corrupt while they're in office, and they also have a tendency to crash the economy, and they grow the government, they spend like crazy, and those are the exact same things that you can expect again. Cutting taxes will be disastrous for basically for our economy, because it'll just blow open the debt. I mean, here our debt is now growing ridiculously year after year after year. And Donald Trump, when he was in office, the deficit grew by $8 trillion. So what's going to happen this time? Just more of the same. Donald Trump is going to spend like crazy. He's going to try to cut taxes again. And with less revenue and more expenses, he's going to absolutely blow up the deficit. And there's going to be a reckoning on this, folks. There's going to be a reckoning on this. You just can't continue to spend money that we don't have recklessly. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did last time. And that's what Donald Trump is going to do this time. So where is safety at? Where are you going to feel comfortable? I've limited my stock exposure. I've picked certain stocks that I don't think are going to do well. Like I've already said before, I got rid of all my oil stocks because I think Donald Trump is bad news for oil. I don't think Donald Trump is good news for oil. He was really bad for it last time, and I think he's going to be really bad for it again. So what other precautions would I take? The number one precaution I would take is to be debt-free. If you want to live a better life, it's I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's really kind of simple. If you want to live a better life, be debt-free and have savings. That's really the secret to this life and to enjoying your life, is to being debt-free and having savings that you can count on. Having savings, having money set aside in case anything happens, is so liberating, I cannot begin to tell you. I mean, it just makes everything in your life so much easier. So I tell young people all the time, the best thing you can do for yourself now and in the future is just simply save money. And that is, as we go into this time with Donald Trump, which hopefully will be over in just a couple of years with the Democrats taking back the House, just be debt-free and save money, And of course, if you've never invested in gold and silver, it's not a bad idea. It's a real good hedge against inflation. And I've been doing it for decades, and I would never turn somebody against gold and silver. So would I have some of gold and silver? Of course I would. And would I make sure I was debt free? Yes. And would I have savings? Absolutely imperative. If you do those things, you're gonna feel much better about the upcoming administration. You're going to limit your exposure as to what this administration can do to you. And notice I said do to you. I didn't say do for you. Because let me make something very specific for you, especially if you voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't going to do anything for you. Absolutely nothing. If you're a worker, if you work at a job, he has nothing for you. And you're about to find that out. Because better wages? No, he thinks workers make too much money anyway. So where is it you think he's going to benefit your life? You think he's going to cut prices? He doesn't control prices. How's he going to cut them? If anything, he's going to increase them with tariffs. Tariffs are a tax. That's what tariffs are. And guess who pays that tax? You do. So just know this. You got Donald Trump, and you're going to live with the consequences over the next 4 years. And it's not going to be pretty. Because every time a Republican gets in the White House, it ends up being really bad. Thanks for joining me on today's Dray Way. Don't forget, there's a new Dray Way every single day. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow on the Dray Way. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you later.